In the old Greek and Roman worlds, there were once buildings called Tholos, round structures built on step podiums with round roofs supported by columns, pretty much the circular counterpart to the better known rectangular temples. Visually very appealing and also a very good challenge in Valheim. Since I was in the mood to continue building ancient structures, I decided to make a Tholos structure surrounded by a massive docking area. Initially, the idea was to make a round fortified harbor, a bit like the ancient Carthage, but after attempting to encase several huge bays with round walls so that I could fit your cars, well, I realized that that was simply a no-go. So if I wanted to make a circular docking area, well, the docks needed to go outwards and not inwards. What I ended up doing was a central round area surrounded by many wharves sticking out from the center. I also left some space around the building so carts could be used to unload material easily and be taken later into the town of Hill. The inside of the structure is pretty much empty, but this could totally be used as a storage house or even a portal hub given the round nature of it, and also the fact that it's pretty much a transport hub. I also left two areas open for entering and exiting the building, although apparently Tholos usually only have one. It just seemed more practical. So yeah, onto the building process itself. I started by raising the terrain in this small peninsula next to a river, then making circular base and structure with stone. I drew out some different wharfs, which were completed sometime later in the build. After that, I started on the circular podium, so two levels of stone slabs placed in a round pattern. The middle I left it open so that I could place later a bonfire. Since I wanted the podium to be walkable upwards, like a stair, I used the short crosson beams on the sides of the slabs to achieve that. I attempted to cover the gaps in between the slabs with some groused thin walls, which was not perfect, but I guess it was good enough. The outer pillars are actually snapping on the corners of two joined stone slabs, as you can see, because the snap points there make it really easy to achieve like a regular placement of the columns, and those columns ended up being 7 meters tall in the end. For the interior walls, I also used snap points of the floor slabs, and as you can see, the walls intersect and create some cool patterns on the outside, which adds some texture to the otherwise plain surface of the groused walls. The interior pillars are also snapped to the stone slabs below, right on the center of each wall. Some extra work on the openings so that they look like majestic entrances, big pillars on the inside and smaller pillars on the outside. The ceiling is basically some big groused slabs. Under it, on the outside, I made a decorative trim with thick groused pillars and another extra big slab underneath to have these little squares all around. lined the holes of the corners of the slabs with more pillars, and the trim ended up looking surprisingly smooth. Under that are the pillars, for which I used a simpler design than the ones I used in the Greek temple. But I did use the same technique, which is basically stacking a pillar and a beam on top of one another, so it creates a lot of snap points, and on these snap points on the sides I can place different beams. I decorated then each column top with iron bucklers on item stems so they can stand out a bit more. As for the roof, it is made of stairs because we don't have like lower angle roof pieces for Grafton. The stair pieces are snapped to the slabs underneath them, so that's easy. And then I extended the inner walls and the inner pillars to have a second layer of roof area right above. This was really tricky because I was not using metal support beams, and I was reaching the build limit, so I had to do it a few times over. I placed some extra floor slabs to have the surface on which to place the second pair of stairs. And then the finishings on the top part needed some inner wall lining and then some more floor slabs above to cover the area. It's far from perfect because there's still some holes, but it does cover most of it. For the top trim I also used some thin walls to cover the openings. And I was worried this would look funny on the inside, but it actually ended up looking pretty smooth. So now that the main building was done, I needed to finish the wharf areas and make it look less roughly sketched. So I extended the platforms a bit more and put some stone support underneath. This was a bit tricky because the surface of the ocean floor was not the same level. After that I added some fences around the building so the wood guards and eventually the Vikings don't fall down into the water. And I finished with some decorative blue jute curtains, some vases, a dragon egg, and this makes the whole thing pop. So yeah, pretty cool circular build with lots of potential as a transport hub or as a storage depot. It has its own road leading to the town, so yeah, pretty cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed building it, even though circular structures tend to be pretty difficult to deal with. I will definitely continue building this theme and possibly make a whole town as I go. So yeah, thank you for watching and catch you in the next build.